What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Just Talk Smith channel. In today's video, we're going to be showing you how to pull out your headliner and recover it in a suede material. And I'll, of course, have a link to where you can purchase everything that you'll need to do this, the adhesive that will be spraying, the suede, and that's pretty much it. I mean, if you're just pulling your headliner out and recovering it, I may include like a couple little plastic pry tools and stuff like that. Little stuff and tools to help you out in the description box down below, but everything that you'll need and anything that you'll see in this video will be in the description box down below. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. The last Starlight headliner video that I'd done, it got like over 100,000 views, so y'all really blew that up. I appreciate that. And so we're actually recovering the headliner in black suede, and we're gonna do another Starlight. So this will be really, really cool. I didn't recover the headliner in the last video, so that's something that we're gonna kind of learn together and do together. But I've talked to a couple different companies and everything, so we should be pretty good on this. The only thing that I won't be showing in any of these videos, I'm gonna do a two-part video. So in part one, we'll be removing it, getting the old headliner material off and stuff like that. We'll get the new Starlight kit on the way, and all of that you'll see in this video. And in the second video, we will show like actually how to wire up the Starlight headliner box and where I put it, and like talk about some locations on where you could put it. And then we'll also be getting our sun visors and stuff back. So the sun visors and the peelers are like the only thing that we won't have like actually wrapped in the black suede for now. So in part two, I will be getting those back from Florida Boy Customs, and we will be installing those, wiring up the Starlight headliner, and doing all that. So in this one, we're going to kind of just remove the seats, remove the headliner, remove all the old headliner material, put on the suede headliner material, and then that's going to be pretty much it for this video. And then part two, we're going to be installing it back into the video, and these may be spaced a little bit apart, so you'll just have to bear with me. But of course, if you're watching this in the future, I will have it linked in the description box down below, part two to this video, or you can jump over to the playlist on my YouTube channel, and I will have a playlist called Starlight Headliner Install. So then I will have part one and part two, as well as my previous video that has over 100,000 views on it. So with all three of these videos, guys, you should be able to have plenty of information to do a Starlight headliner yourself at home. So with that being said, I'm going to quit talking and we're going to get right into it. I'm just going to time lapse pulling the seats out. Literally on my F250, it's 18mm bolts, so it's not rocket science. We're going to pull all of the seats out, make sure to unplug everything, and then I will kind of talk about taking out the headliner itself. Some vehicles you might be able to get away with just laying the seats down and pulling the headliner out, but on my truck in particular, I do have to pull the seats out to get the headliner out without bending it and breaking it and doing anything like that. I have got it out without pulling the seats before, but now I have a bigger center console, so I really don't think that it's going to be possible to pull it out without pulling the center console and one of the front seats and then the full back seat completely out. But you want to get all of your seats out, and then of course we'll talk about all the panels. And you want to take the fewest panels and everything out as possible, like peelers and stuff like that, because you don't want to do more work than you have to. So that's something that we're going to kind of talk about too. So let's get into this video. guys, so now we have all of the seats out and the center console out. So on mine, I have a dome light. I've got a couple of handles and a little hanger. Same thing over here. And then up here, we've got the sun visors and the pillars. You also have this pillar right here. It just pull on it and it pops right off. But first you have to flip up that little flap right there and take out the seat belt bolts, and then that'll just flop right off. And then once we have all of that removed, and most of that is like 8mm and Phillips head screwdrivers. Very, very simple. On these, you want to pop the lenses off, and then there's Phillips head screws that hold those on, and then they unplug and come completely out. So on this truck in particular, it's not super complicated to get the headliner out. And then there's also 2 push pins right here, and that's what holds the headliner in. So right here is our Starlight module. Originally, I was gonna bring the stars out right here, and then I noticed this big opening, and I was like, well, I'm retarded and I'd already cut that off, so I may try to find a new one of these little panels to get rid of that, but the seat completely covers it and you can't see it anyway. But anyway, I'm gonna cut out some more right here for our second box. So then both of the boxes are just kind of recessed back in here. And then I'll get some more of this molding that goes around and try to clean it up. And then I've also got to build an amp rack to mount both of my amplifiers over here. So that'll look good. I'm going to do that whenever I have the bed off. Each one of these pillars, the dome lights, and all of these, I'm not going to show that, but I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward to whenever we're pulling this headliner completely out. All right, guys, so we got the headliner out of the truck along with the old Starlight headliner kit. Now, don't let this scare you. It's not as bad as it looks. It's just very time consuming. And I'm gonna end up running the same one again because this one lasted since the last video and it was holding up perfectly fine. Yes, it's destroyed now, so I'm gonna have to throw it away, but the light box is still good. So I am going to keep the light box, and I'm gonna keep this piece right here. Put the fiber optics inside of the light box. So I will keep this, and I will keep the light box. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and start a little time lapse of removing all this old headliner material. So once you've got your headliner out of the truck, there's gonna be a layer of headliner material, which you can watch me pull back here. I went ahead and done half of it just so I could show you for the video. But you're gonna have a layer of headliner fabric, and then you're gonna have a layer of foam. And then underneath that, I guess it's like fiberglass or something. I'm really not sure. But pretty much, I went ahead and took this drill attachment, then I went right down the center of it. So then I go ahead and peel it. And now all I'm gonna do literally is just peel this headliner material back. And after you get this headliner material peeled back, then you're gonna take your drill attachment and you wanna get rid of all of the foam. So all of that foam that's on there, you wanna get rid of it because our Suede headliner material is a foam backed Suede material. So it already has that foam, but you do want to just get rid of all of this old foam. It's gonna be time consuming. It's gonna be a little bit annoying, but the end product is gonna be well worth it when you do all of this work and then your headliner doesn't start falling and sagging over time. All right, guys, so I went to Harbor Freight and picked this up. These are big wire brushes. And I got a helper. Scott is helping me scrub this headliner. So what we're trying to do, Scott, hold on. What we're trying to do is get all this foam off, as you've already seen. I was doing it with the drill, but this works a whole lot better and it's a whole lot quicker. So it's more manual labor, but it's a lot quicker. So Scott, show them the technique.
We're gonna start over here.
Yep, do that section right here real quick.
All right, make you some lines.
You breathing.
All right, go back across. Make you some diagonal lines.
Some diagonal lines after the horizontal lines.
And well, and then you just scrub.
So we're gonna get to scrubbing and get all of this headliner foam off, and then we will be ready to spray it down with the adhesive, the contact adhesive, and then lay the suede on there. So I will see you guys as soon as we get this thing scrubbed down. And this is the most important part. Make sure that you get every bit of the foam, every drop, and scrub it again after that. Because prep, this is kind of like painting. Prep is where the success will be in a good finished product. So make sure that you get this sanded down good, or scrubbed down good, I should say, and all the foam gone. So then whenever we go to spray the contact adhesive onto the suede and onto the headliner, it'll all be straight. So I'll catch you guys after we get this done. He's an island boy.
I fuck with headliners.
We got the headliner completely wire brushed down and pretty much sanded down, ready for base coat and clear coat at this point. So this thing is so smooth, for real. So we got every single drop of foam off of it, and it's completely uncovered. I didn't literally mean base coat and clear coat, Scott.
Okay.
Dude, I didn't tell you that we're gonna fiberglass over this and then sand it down again and base and clear it, make it the same color as the truck.
If we don't paint it pink, I won't be mad.
We're gonna paint it pink. All right, so anyway, now that we're at this point, we're gonna put the headliner on some sawhorses and get ready to spray the glue, and I'll talk to you and show you the glue that I'm gonna use and all of that, and then we'll be ready to cover this thing. So we got the headliner on some sawhorses. Now we're gonna go over, and of course, this is completely prepped and ready to spray. So we are gonna be spraying the adhesive on here. You don't like brush it or anything like that. And I'm about to go over what you need to use in order to make this last a long time. So right here, and I will put a link to this contact adhesive in the description box down below. This is DAP brand Weldwood contact adhesive, and this is spray grade. So you can actually spray this. And what we're gonna be doing is just taking an old paint gun from Harbor Freight. They're like $14. And we're gonna be spraying the headliner with this contact adhesive. And huge shout out to Florida Boy Customs in Florida. They're the ones that recommended this. He said it's the only stuff to use. I'm sure there's other stuff out there that will work almost as good or as good, but nothing that you can get like store-bought will work as good as this. So like even the 3M like high grade, like high adhesive spray, he said it doesn't even compare to this. Like he uses that stuff to just temporarily tack stuff on in order to peel it back off. So this stuff is a permanent bond contact adhesive, and it's really good. And again, spray grade, industrial grade. So two big key words right there. You can spray it and it's industrial grade. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and fill the spray gun up. I'm waiting for Scott to get here, so I'll wait until he gets here and then fill that up off camera. So we're literally just gonna dump it into the spray gun and we'll be able to spray it. It's got a 1.4 tip, so it should spray that just fine. You want to spray it on the suede and on the headliner. So you want to, it's contact adhesive, it's not glue or super glue or whatever. So it's only going to stick to itself, I think is how that works. But this will be in the description box down below if you want to pick some up if you are doing your headliner. So I just want to let you guys know, I'm going to go ahead and wait for Scott to get here because he's going to help me cover this headliner. And then we will fill the spray gun up with the contact adhesive, spray the suede, the back of the suede obviously, and spray the whole headliner. And he said, Florida Boy Customs said to just do like half at a time horizontally. So you'll get to see that as well. I'll probably do that in time lapse, and then we'll just kind of talk about it at the end, and I'll give y'all some pointers or anything that I learned as I go along.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
All right, guys, so we've got the headliner covered in suede. It went really, really good. Florida Boy Customs told me to do like one half and then the other half, and that turned out really, really good. So I also cut some relief cuts in these like pockets and everything to make all of that fit in there better. So as you can see, everything is flush and cut in there. So that looks really, really good, and it came out awesome. So now I'm gonna cut off all of the excess except for about 3 inches. And then out of those 3 inches, I'm gonna overlap that. So it'll have about a 3-inch overlap all the way around. And I think that that'll be plenty. And then we'll just spray us some glue all the way around the outside, spray the contact adhesive, and then start folding. So we're gonna roll another time lapse. All right, guys, and just like that, we've got the Starlight, or not the Starlight, the headliner recovered in black suede. And like I said, I will have a link to where you can pick up the suede, pick up the adhesive, and I'll even throw in a cheap paint gun just in case you don't feel like going to Harbor Freight in the description box down below where you can pick this up. So I know at the beginning of this video I said that I was going to go ahead and install the Starlights and the fiber optics and all of that in this, but instead I'm going to do part 2, which I had already talked about doing in this video, but it was going to be just installing it. So instead, in part 2, we'll start fresh. This headliner will be cured, dried, ready to rock and roll, and we can start fresh with part 2, which will literally be poking all the holes, running all the fiber optics, and then figuring out where it's going to go in the truck as far as the light box and all of that, which I'll take you all along with me this time, because last time I done this video, I didn't take you all along with me to do that. So we will be showing you where the light box is going to go and all of that. I think we're going to do about a 500 piece. We might go ahead and say screw it and do like 1,000. I don't know just yet. But in part 2, you'll get to see that, and we'll do that. So it turned out awesome. And for mine and Scott's literally first time ever covering a headliner in suede, it turned out, well, you can see it. It turned out literally awesome. There's not a wrinkle one anywhere. All of the edges are straight and clean. We've got all of the cutouts right here for the lights, for the interior dome lights. We've got all of the little cutouts right here for like those shit handle and the sun visors, which also in the next video we'll be showing you those sun visors. We had those recovered because I knew for a fact that I couldn't recover the sun visors myself. So we sent those to Florida Boy Customs. 10 out of 10. I would recommend, as long as you're taking your time, I think that you got this, guys, at home. If you've already made it this far, got the headliner clean and all of that, just take your time and have an extra person. It really, really helps a lot. This would have been hard to do by myself like I do most things on the channel. So having Scott here, really appreciate Scott coming and helping me. So big shout out to Scott. And with that being said, guys, that's going to be all for today's video. I hope you all tune back in for part 2. And if you're watching this in the future after I already have part 2 uploaded, check in the description box down below. I will have a link to part 2 of this video. But in part 2, we're going to be installing the Starlight kit in the actual headliner. And then after we install the Starlight kit in the actual headliner, then we'll be installing the headliner with the Starlight kit into the actual truck. Make sure you get down there, drop me a comment down below if you have any suggestions or any questions. Drop me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. And always remember, everybody starts out as nobody. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.